Hey everybody, so this is Miss Love. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody has been doing amazing. Okay, y'all, I know I have been gone. I have not been on here for a while. I've been grieving, I've been going through some things. Three of my family members passed away from cancer. My uncle, then a week later, my first cousin, then like 2 weeks after her, my mother-in-law. And so it's just been a lot. And my mother-in-law, which I'm not married, okay, I used to be married to her son. We still real good friends. We was high school sweethearts. She will forever be my mother-in-law. I love her to pieces. She lived in Arizona, and we talked all the time. And she's not here no more, you guys. And it happened so fast. So when you got somebody, a loved one, people that are around you, that don't take it for granted. They could be here, gone tomorrow. Here today, gone tomorrow. And the last time I talked to her, I had video recorded our conversation because we did a video call. Her best friend was in the hospital with her, and I knew mom didn't know how to work her video recording on her phone. So I asked her, I was like, can you share recording? Maybe we can video record tomorrow. She said, "Now, why don't y'all do it today?" I'm so glad that I did it that day because after that, I never got to talk to her again. She got on the camera, and I had my grandkids, which is her great grandkids. And we talked and we told her how much we loved her. She lit up when she saw us. She was like, "Oh, there go all my babies. Look at your faces." And she was like, she loved us. So even though she was sick, to me, she didn't appear to be sick enough to pass away like 3 days later. Literally 3 days later. And so after that, they transferred her to the hospice from the hospital. Um, and she went to sleep and did not wake back up. The chaplain called me and all that, and I was just kept calling her phone, hoping she would just please wake up and answer the phone, and she never did. So please, you guys, if you're in arguments with your family members or friends or whoever, please get it together. Get it together because you just never know. You never know, okay? So she's not in pain anymore, and I'm grateful for that. But today, I know y'all see the title. I know y'all see the title. Some of these stories, you guys, that I come across, I cannot help but cover these stories and talk about it because I have so many questions. And maybe you guys can help me out with it, okay? I got so many questions as to a person's thought process. You see what I'm saying? 16 months, can a woman still be experiencing postpartum depression? I don't know. I went through postpartum depression with my first child. I can't tell y'all how long it lasted because I can't remember how long it lasted. That's been 32 years ago. So with my second one, which was 10 years after him, my kids are 10 years apart. I was so afraid, you guys. I was so afraid that I was gonna go through that again, and I didn't. By the way, if you in here, if you new to here, if you have returned here, okay, if you in the bushes watching, please, sir, ma'am, king, queen, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. I'm trying to get my stuff into the algorithm. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I'm just right now I'm uploading videos. I will start to go live, even if I don't have people in the live. Eventually, people get the replay, and somebody might come in the live to where I can interact, because I really do like engaging and, you know what I'm saying, hearing people's perspective on things, because sometimes you could listen to something and of course your way of thinking and viewing things is totally different. Like you might have somebody that come in a room that's much wiser and see things so much more clear. I love to learn from people like that. I love to be around wisdom all the time, y'all. It is so amazing. Like, okay, y'all better get around some wisdom. Y'all better go find y'all some. Go talk to grandma, grandpa, or the little lady up the street, or the grandpa up the street. Somebody, it don't even have to be somebody old, because I have come across some very wise young people, wise beyond their years. Now, I'm finna uh share my screen. Y'all, this right here, baby. When I tell you, I I I have no words. I have no words for this right here, because to um to go through and you know what I'm saying? Why is it not popping up? Why is it not popping up on here? I don't see it on the screen. Hmm. Let me see. Maybe I'm just not seeing it on the screen. Oh, and maybe it's on the screen. Okay, I'll do this. There we go. So you guys, I'm gonna push play, and this is the judge. So she did plead guilty. Let me go to up here, you guys. I'm gonna click on this one. Let me see right here. Oh no 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 no. Mm, view layout. Let's see here. I'm trying to. Y'all bear with me. This stuff. I'm just now. You know what I'm saying. Trying to get used to. Oh my gosh. Let me just do it like this. Come on. Add to stage. Y'all, I'm getting frustrated. Okay, let's go back. Cancel this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Or do I want it like this? There we go. Okay, I knew I was going to get it eventually. So this is the judge in his remarks. So she did plead guilty to the to murdering her baby, but they did do a trial, well, a sentencing phase of it. So during the sentencing phase, you know, they had witnesses come up, the prosecutor and all that. They came up and they talked about the pain and the suffering that that child went through. Y'all, it was horrible. So let's play this.
Leaving your baby terrified, alone, unprotected, to suffer.
Oh, okay, you guys, I'm sorry about that. The phone rang. It's always when I start a call. My friend called. Bless her heart, she didn't know. No,
in prison for leaving her toddler home alone for more
let
than a
me go
week,
back to the
where she
beginning.
Alone.
Hold on.
You committed the ultimate act of betrayal, leaving your baby terrified, alone, unprotected, to suffer what I heard was the most gruesome death imaginable.
an Ohio mother will spend the rest of her life in prison for leaving her toddler home alone for more than a week, where she starved to death while her mom jetted off on vacation. Prosecutors say 32-year-old Crystal Candelario left her 16-month-old daughter Jalen alone ended at her home beginning on June 6 of 2023. Candelario didn't return home until 10 days later on the 16th, and upon returning home, she made the tragic discovery. Her daughter was found unresponsive in what investigators described as a filthy playpen. She had been extremely dehydrated, and the young toddler was extremely emaciated. She weighed less than 14 pounds at the time of her death. Investigators say Candelario left her daughter alone while she vacationed in Detroit and Puerto Rico. She was arrested and booked a day after returning home and discovering her daughter's body. In February,
Did you hear that? This woman went on vacation to Puerto Rico and she went to, did they say Michigan? She went to Puerto Rico with one man and came back and went to Michigan to see another man. And she left her 16-month-old baby alone at home to fend for herself in a playpen. The baby couldn't get out of the playpen, stuck in the playpen for 10 days.
February of 2024, Candelario pleaded guilty to charges including aggravated murder and endangering children. During Candelario's sentencing, the prosecution said investigators combed through more than 600 hours of Ring camera footage, which actually showed Candelario left her daughter alone for 2 days before she jetted off on her vacation.
If in fact we would have gone to trial, the evidence was going to show that Crystal Candelaria left the state of Ohio on 6/4/2023. She leaves because there is a receipt that's found in her car that she is in Taylor, Michigan. Unbeknownst to Ms. Candelario, her neighbors had Ring doorbell, and the Cleveland Police Department Homicide Unit has gone through 648 hours and videos of the Ring doorbell, which you're going to see in this presentation. With regards to Ms. Candelaria, she returns to Cuyahoga County on 6/6 at 7:41 a.m. So at this particular point, we have reason to believe that this child was left alone for 2 days now, and she returns on 6/6/2023.
Prosecutors say after returning on June 6 of 2023, Ring captures Candelario again leaving Cuyahoga County, Ohio, where police cameras later captured her movements in Detroit, Michigan.
Through the search warrants, we were able to retrieve her Spirit airline tickets that showed her departure and her return from Puerto Rico. She was gone from 6/8 to 6/11. And it's interesting, Your Honor, because the defense memorandum, it says that her stopping of medications played a significant role in her ability to function as a parent and make sound decisions. So when we look at, these are,
Y'all, the baby was left for 10 days. And if I'm hearing correctly, they said, because I kind of watched the trial, and if y'all go to Crime, the TV, the YouTube channel. I think if you go to their channel, you will be able to see the whole hour-long trial. Go check it out. You'll get more details on all the things that happened. But when I heard it on, dang, I guess I really wasn't paying attention to the part because I did watch the hour-long sentencing trial. But I guess I didn't pay attention to this part. So when she came back, oh gosh, this is crazy. So she was only in Puerto Rico from 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 days. 4 days. So she came back from Puerto Rico from 4 days. Damn. So that means she could have came back and went home. And then y'all, let me go back because this is so disturbing. You didn't think about your baby, your 16-month-old baby, for you going from Puerto Rico to damn. Y'all, please give me y'all thoughts and stuff in this. And I'm sorry if I'm continuing, if I'm going to stop, but I'm one of those ones that I have to stop and process things. So her trip, because at first I thought her trip in Puerto Rico was 10 days. I'm like, who goes on vacation for 10 days like that too? I mean, I started to get homesick after the third day. But so she was only in Puerto Rico for 4 days. So let's see here.
Items from her phone. Her actions indicate to us that she is in Puerto Rico having a good time with friends, and that there is not a care in the world about the 16-month-old that was left alone in the pack and play. These pictures show somebody who is showing some discretion and judgment because she's having a good time. Meanwhile, this child is in a pack and play.
The prosecutor said during Candelario's vacation, Ring camera video captured the sounds of crying from her toddler while she was left unattended. When she returned on June 16th, prosecutors say upon discovering her daughter.
Did y'all hear that? So if you go to the Law and Crime, the YouTube channel, shout out to Law and Crime. If you go to their channel and you watch the trial, during the trial, the sentencing trial, you will hear on the Ring camera is picking up the audio sound of the baby crying. Now, I don't know. I got the Blinks Ring thing at home. Every time there's motion or anything like that, or you know what I'm saying, hers is picking up the sound. Damn. Like she didn't think to. Well, I guess if the camera is outside, I guess she can't see. But I got the Blinks, the doorbell thing outside, and I got cameras inside my home. So I guess, I can check on the cameras and talk and all that stuff anyway. But it wouldn't even matter with a 16-month-old baby. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, well. Okay, you guys, it seemed like every time I get ready to start to record, somebody jumps in and calls. So I'm going to start this video back up. But like I was saying, she was in Puerto Rico for 4 days. I'm just, oh gosh, this is horrible. Poor baby. Poor baby. So let me push play.
Dead in the pack and play, Candelario redressed the young toddler before calling 911. Portions of that phone call were played before the judge in court, where Candelario can be heard screaming for help.
Okay, is there a single double in the apartment? What's your name? Crystal. What's your last name, Crystal? What's disconnected. 507-882.
The state says despite Candelario's emotional phone call to 911, the next day she went back to Detroit to visit one of the men she had been dating. During her interview with investigators, Candelario claimed she had been home all week and her daughter hadn't been eating well for the past few days. She said she woke up that morning and found Jalen unresponsive.
So that was just Monday and Tuesday of this week. She was throwing up.
Yes.
And then how was she Wednesday and Thursday?
She was with no food, just with a meal because she was refusing. Maybe it's because she didn't want me 2 days, before.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Y'all, if you came home and found your baby dead in a playpen, I don't think I would be this calm. And then the very next day after you found your baby dead, you go to Detroit to go back to the very man that you was on vacation that you went to see while you left your baby. If that's the case, you could have came home after those 4 days, or 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 3-4 days in Puerto Rico and checked on your baby, and the baby will probably still be alive. But, and then went back to Detroit. This is crazy to me. And then you were lying, saying you was at home all this time, as if they're not going to do an investigation and find out. It's claiming that she didn't take her medication. If you was that gone off not taking medication, girl, bye.
That was scary because I say, oh my God, maybe go to the hospital because she doesn't eat anything. And she was loose tiny, her weight. I lose, her weight. But right now, in this morning when I wake up, she was asleep. She sleep every day 12 hours.
Okay.
She sleep like at 9 p.m. to 9 or 10 a.m.
Okay.
12 hours. So in this morning I was
Lying.
sleeping too. I never wake up. She was
What happened? What was going on last night?
Last night she was crying a lot. And I see one moment when I was take a shower, and she was screaming like, I don't know, probably she getting pain.
Okay.
Maybe.
About what time was that last night?
Maybe at 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay.
So she was screaming like, probably for pain or something like that. In this morning when I wake up, I took her in the morning for Jamie, wake up, and she wake up, and when I see her, I see she looks like a really, really dry, like ¿cómo se dice cuando una persona se chupa, o sea,
Kind of like.
yeah.
Oh, the size was sunken in?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yo me asusté y dije.
Prosecutors say Jalen died a horrible death, prompting them to bring in the medical examiner, Dr. Elizabeth Mooney, to explain to the judge the terrible and horrendous conditions Jalen suffered.
Unfortunately, this is one of the most tragic and unfortunate cases I've had in my career thus far. So today I speak on behalf of her and her findings with the course of my examination. We received Jalen at the medical examiner's office from the scene of her residence, at which time she was clothed in non-soiled clothing, indicating her body had likely been dressed prior to first responders' arrival, as they had mentioned before. So at autopsy, I examined the body of a very emaciated female toddler. At this point, she weighed 13 pounds. Upon review of medical records, this indicated approximately a 7-pound weight loss since her previous doctor's visit less than 2 months prior to that. The eyes were sunken and she had temporal wasting in her face. In addition to that, the skin showed markedly decreased turgor, meaning when I pinch the skin, it remains in that tented position, indicating severe dehydration. In addition, there was abundant fecal material present caked on the fingers, the fingernails, the hands, the feet, as well as the soles of the feet. The same material was found on her lips, which were very dry and flaking, as well as in her oral cavity, caked to her teeth.
Dr. Mooney said Jalen Jalen's body fed upon itself, trying to get.
Y'all, that was so disturbing to me. She came home, found her baby dead. True enough, she was hysterical. She probably didn't want the baby to die, but went and left a 16-month-old baby in a pen and play, a playpen, or however they want to describe it, for 10 days. And they said it was like a couple of bottles that she probably left with the baby. How you think that baby gonna survive off of a couple of bottles for 10 days? And then after a few days, ain't the milk gonna go spoiled after a day in the playpen? Not only that, you came home, changed the baby clothes, called yourself wiping her up or whatnot, but you didn't realize that the baby had feces in her mouth where she was trying to survive and eating her own feces. And it was on her lips, in her mouth, under her fingernails, on the bottom of her feet. How disgusting. That baby had to suffer. She was completely dehydrated. She probably more so passed away from the dehydration, more so than the starvation. I don't know. Let's finish listening.
Nutrients. Her kidneys failed, and based on the decomposition and state of her body, she had likely died 2 or 3 days before her mom returned and discovered her body. Jalen's cause of death was ultimately ruled as starvation and extreme dehydration
Well,
due to pediatric neglect. The state said none of Jalen's family called their office to ask about the case. Instead, they were more concerned about Candelario. So law enforcement became the voice for the young toddler. Sergeant Teresa Gomez became emotional as she explained Jalen's young life was cut too short for no apparent reason.
This tragedy should have never happened. I am Sergeant Gomez from the Homicide Unit. The entire Homicide Unit, Cleveland Homicide Initiative, and our partners from the FBI are here today in honor of baby Jaylee Candelario. When we were first notified of this horrific case, we were all heartbroken. But when we started digging deeper into the investigation, it was beyond horrific. It was revealed that the defendant, Crystal Candelario, left her own child alone for hours, which led to days, which led to weeks. This baby was left alone in a pack and play to fend for herself for 11 days with no food, maybe milk, the clothing she had on, and the diaper she was wearing. This baby loved her mother. She needed her mother, and her mother betrayed her.
Later, when it came to the defense's turn to speak, Candelario's lawyer, Derek Smith, didn't condone her actions.
Everything that I'm about to get to today, and my reason, is her actions. And what the prosecution said, actions matter. And these actions are narcissistic, selfish, abhorrent, absolutely worst parenting imaginable. She pled to aggravated murder. She pled to child endangering. So everything we're about to tell you is mitigation.
The defense says Candelario was struggling with being a single mother of 2.
Fast forward to 2023, it's just overwhelming. She even tried to harm herself. Took 20 Motrin, ended up in Metro. In early February of 23, after spending a few days in her room alone, her mother went to check on her, asked her what was going on. Her whole side of her body was numb, didn't know what was going on. They took her to Hillcrest Hospital. She was admitted there, and they were doing some evaluations for her migraine. She was complaining about headaches and weakness, facial drooping, thought it was possible stroke. They put her on IV Depakote, which is a anti-seizure, also used to treat manic disorder. And at the end of the day, after evaluations, she was clean, nothing wrong with the brain. They gave her oral Depakote and Effexor, 2 antidepressants, and sent her home. she was not very clear on what those were, but she was taking them supposedly as directed. And then she returned to Hillcrest Hospital again in March. And there was a note from the doctor saying that she should have had plenty of Effexor, but she's saying that she's out, that she needs more, and she's coming back with the same problems. So they got her evaluated again, and they were saying that her anxiety and her stress was the trigger for these physical manifestations to what was happening to her, for the loss of sensation inside her body, the numbness. And they prescribed her more Depakote, more Effexor, and also Atarax to help her sleep, because she wasn't sleeping. And this is in March of 2023. And, take the medications as prescribed. And then medications ran out. She wasn't feeling any better. They weren't working. She stopped.
Y'all, he looks like he's trying to do his job as the defense attorney, but the look that he's giving me on his face is the look of disgust. Like, I don't even want to say this in defense for her, but I have to because I'm her attorney. If you will leave a comment, let me know. So when you heard her do her 911 call, do y'all think that I mean, it sounds sincere in her horror that she found her baby. So I thought, so the baby, according to the autopsy, died maybe a day or two before the mom got back home. Had she came home after the 4 days, her baby would still be alive. Will it make it still right? No. But also during the trial, I know I'm all over the place, y'all. Please forgive me. That's how I am, all over the place with the story. But when something comes to my mind, I have to say it. While she was in Puerto Rico, if you go back and listen to on the Law and Crime channel, where they have the whole sentencing trial, they were saying that every day on vacation, she talked to her mom. You know what I'm saying? She called her mom. So I'm thinking, and then her neighbors would usually watch the baby for her sometimes. Why she didn't ask the neighbor? And the neighbor said all she had to do was ask. Me as a grandparent, if my son called and he, on vacation or whatever, and my grandkids are not with me, look, where the kids at? Who have the kids? Where the kids at? Where the kids at? I just don't understand if the mom could have asked her where the baby at, because I'm trying to figure out where the other child was, because she has 2 kids. One of the kids is older. The 16-month-old is younger than one. I think the other kid probably is of school age, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. If you go back and listen to the other trial, I think they say how old the other child is. I don't know. But I don't think the other child couldn't have been there. The other child was not there. The other child was probably with the grandparents or with her ex-husband or whatnot, or whoever. I don't know. But maybe I'm just speculating that the mom didn't ask. Maybe the mom did ask and she could have lied, because she lied about saying she was at home. So she could have lied about saying she was the baby was with the neighbors or something. Who knows? This is so heartbreaking, you guys, because I can imagine a 16-year-old child starving to death. You can hear the baby screaming on the Ring camera. She was probably screaming and crying, wanting her mama and wanting food. But please leave your comments and share with me your thoughts on what you guys think about this situation. Also, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to push play now.
You're not supposed to do that with these drugs, Your Honor. These are very, very serious mental health drugs, and you need to be tapered off of these medications, or there could be some side effects. Not only the side effects, but the actual underlying conditions that she may have had or been suffering from are also going unmedicated this time.
Smith said the photos of Candelario on the beach didn't show the entire story, adding she was hiding her depression from herself and her family. He said there was no justification for Candelario's actions. She could have called authorities or done things differently.
When you're in that state, when you're off medication, mismanaging your thoughts, you're not thinking clearly. Her body just, she had to get out, and she was having fun. If she was okay in her mind, Jaylene was okay. Of course, that's not the case.
Y'all, I got to jump in on this part. He was talking about she was depressed and you didn't see it. Let me tell you, as a person who suffered from depression for many years, vacation is not the place that I go when I'm depressed. My bed is the place I go when I'm depressed. Isolation is the place that I go when I'm depressed. Now, most people that I know that deal with depression, and I work in the mental health field as well, they don't like to be around. When people are depressed, they don't want to socialize. They don't want to go outside their room. They don't want to go outside their house. They might go to work, and I go to work because I have to go to work. I have to pay the bills. But 9 times out of 10, they not going on I don't feel like going on vacation. Definitely ain't going to see no man in Detroit or anything like that, or you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, when I go through my bouts of depression, leave me alone. My bed and my TV is my best friend, okay? I'm just saying. She was on the beach partying, kicking, drinking, all of that stuff, going from man to man. Please. And in her mind, did you hear him? In her mind, if she okay, the baby okay. In her mind, let me get back to the story, y'all.
But I will point to when she did finally get home, and we heard that 911 call, she didn't want this to happen. You could hear that. Screaming, help me, my daughter's dying. Yes, because of your actions, because of what your choices were. And you took responsibility for that. But that call, that one tiny breach from whatever was going on in her head, that reality that her daughter was dying, she was calling for help. She didn't want that.
The defense called Candelario's mother and father to speak before the judge, and despite the prosecution saying Jaylen's extended family never followed up with the state about the case, Candelario's family, through an interpreter, said they were sorry for not seeing the signs their daughter was struggling on the inside, and they will never forget Jaylen.
No one ever imagined that this suffering would culminate in a tragedy.
Y hoy aquí quiero decirle a Jaylene
And here I'm.
que eres nuestro ángel, Jaylene.
I want to say here before Jaylene, our angel,
Tu recuerdo vive en nosotros.
that your memory lives within us.
Siempre te amaremos.
We will always love you.
Te acuné en mis brazos.
I held you in my arms.
Tus abuelos nunca te olvidarán.
Your grandparents will never forget you.
Perdóname, bebé,
Forgive me
por vivir la oscuridad del conocimiento.
for being in the dark.
Candelario also addressed the court where she appeared visibly emotional. Through an interpreter, she said she was extremely hurt by everything that happened.
I'm not trying to justify my actions.
Pero nadie sabe cuánto yo estaba sufriendo.
But nobody knew how much I was suffering
Y por lo que estaba pasando.
and what I was going through.
Todos los días le pido perdón a Dios y a mi hija, Jaylene.
Every day I ask forgiveness from God and from my daughter, Jaylene.
Soy una persona creyente de Dios
I'm a person who believes in God.
y reconozco hoy que todos y todas muchas ocasiones somos tentados por el enemigo.
And I recognize today that all of us are sometimes subject to the enemy.
Candelario said not a day goes by that she doesn't think of her daughter and says she prays to be reunited with her surviving daughter one day. However, the judge didn't mince words, saying Jaylen died without the protection of her own mother, who chose to have fun over parenthood.
You committed the ultimate act of betrayal, leaving your baby terrified, alone, unprotected, to suffer what I heard was the most gruesome death imaginable, with no food, no water, no protection, and lying in her own feces. Ms. Candelario, you know the responsibility of parenthood. You have a child already. You raised another child. And I've witnessed here before me your parents who showed you love and respect and education. And they came here to help you, to advocate for you, more than what you've done for your own child. The evidence that I've witnessed here before this court shows that this time you simply chose not to be here because you wanted to have fun. You decided you needed a vacation. And what followed was absolute depravity.
The judge said at any point Candelario could have called for help or had someone come over to watch Jaylen, but she chose otherwise.
Instead, I see photos of you on a beach while your child was eating her own feces in an attempt to survive. Photos mean something. And I'm well aware of mental health, but didn't look like you were too concerned about your child.
The judge said just as Candelario left Jaylen alone to die, he ordered she face a similar punishment of life in prison.
The only difference will be that prison will at least feed you and give you liquids that you denied her.
The judge said this is one of the most difficult cases to hear. Candelario's life sentence comes with no chance for parole.
Oh, yeah. This right here, that story, y'all, that story broke my heart because I could not imagine. You know, I've been hungry before. You know, if anybody has ever had surgery or anything like that, you know how you can't eat before surgery, or if you had to have, you know what I'm saying, a fasting test, or where you have to fast, or people that just fast and stuff like that. You know that you get those hunger pains. Could you imagine how that baby was feeling? And then the oh, Lord Jesus, it's just horrible. So the baby, you know, after the organs start failing, I forgot what it was saying with the autopsy, where the process of body goes through when it starts to feed off of itself as far as like her fat and stuff. And that's probably why she lost the 7 pounds. Of course, you know, the water weight and the body trying to feed off of the stored fat for energy that the baby had on her. But I'm curious to know where the other child was at. And because and you guys, she was an educated woman too. She was educated. I can't remember what her degree was in or what she went to school for. Or was it, am I getting these stories mixed up? I do believe she was educated too. But anyway, and for her to leave again and go back to Detroit and to see whoever this guy is, and it's disturbing. Like I said, depression can cause you to do a lot of things, but not leave your child to starve to death for 10 days. It's horrible, horrible, horrible death. To sleep in her own feces, to have a diaper on for 10 days. Could y'all imagine how raw her bottom was from the feces and the urine sitting on her bottom? I'm just curious to know what was going through the mother's head. What was going through her mind to leave her child for 10 days? Y'all, I'm not going to go through too far into this because, you know, this story has really troubled me. The baby, thank God, she's not suffering any longer, or anything like that. The mother, she took full accountability. She pleaded to all the charges that was against her. She pleaded guilty to them so that, they didn't have to go to trial. She could have got the death penalty, I do believe, if she had went to trial. I think she was hysterical. Well, I don't think she wanted the baby to die, but I also think that she also knew what her fate was going to be, that she was going to jail, coming up with these lies and stuff. But yes, please, you guys, leave your opinions and your thoughts and ideas in the comments and what you think about the situation. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I will be coming to you with more content in relates to this. I love crime stories and giving our input and our take on what you know what I'm saying, what our thoughts are on things like this, and how can we as a community, as men and women with sound mind, make a change in our communities and the people around us. It could be somebody in our family that's thinking like this. You know what I'm saying? I always try to find a way that I can help to prevent something like this from happening. Because I feel like if certain people come across a video or anything, or a person or conversation or anything to where they might be thinking about doing something like this, or anything that's crazy, like some Diddy stuff, you know what I'm saying? That if they hear what happens, what can happen, what will happen, if they hear the consequences that come along with what will happen, then maybe it'll make a change. Maybe they'll change from it. You know what I'm saying? So leave your thoughts. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel, please, you guys. Like I said, I've been gone, but I'm back with more content. Y'all continue to pray for me. My mother-in-law is in a better place now, so continue to pray. My cousin is in a better place. Please continue to uplift me, and I will do the same for you. If you let me know you're going through something, I'll say it in the comments. I will lift you up as well. On that note, always love yourself. Put yourself first. It's not being selfish. That is necessary. Okay. Make sure you are right. Make sure you are straight. Okay. And love on yourself. Okay. And in the meantime and in between time, share the love to others. On that note, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, lovely day. Peace.